the diamond rain inside giant planets. On planets like Neptune and Uranus, the weather is much more expensive than rain on Earth. These planets have a lot of methane gas. Deep inside the planet, the pressure is so high that it squeezes the carbon in the methane until it turns into solid diamonds. These diamonds then sink through the gas layers like giant, sparkling hailstones. Scientists have even tried to recreate this diamond rain in labs using high-powered lasers. The world's oldest customer service complaint. We think people complaining about bad service is a modern thing, but the oldest written customer complaint is nearly 4,000 years old. It is a clay tablet from ancient Mesopotamia, modern-day Iraq, written by a man named Nani. He was angry because a merchant named Nasir sold him bad-quality copper and was rude to his messenger. Nani wrote his complaint in stone, and it survived for thousands of years, proving people have always been annoyed by bad business. The password: birds teach their unborn babies. A bird called the superb fairy wren has a genius way to stop cheater birds, like cuckoos, from sneaking babies into their nests. While the mother is still sitting on her eggs, she sings a very specific, unique note over and over. The babies actually learn this password while they're still inside the egg. When they hatch, they have to sing that exact note to get fed. If a stranger bird sneaks an egg in, that baby won't know the secret code, and the parents will know it's an imposter. Trees in a forest aren't just standing next to each other. They're connected underground by a massive network of fungus, mushrooms. This is often called the wood wide web. Through these fungal threads, trees can send warning signals to their neighbors if they're being attacked by bugs. Older mother trees can even use the network to send extra sugar and nutrients to younger, smaller trees that aren't getting enough sunlight. The only animal that can see the Earth's magnetism. Many animals use the Earth's magnetic field to travel, but European robins might actually see it. Scientists believe these birds have a special protein in their eyes called cryptochrome. When blue light hits this protein, it creates a chemical reaction that lets the birds see the magnetic field as a glowing map overlaid on the world. It's like they have a built-in heads-up display or GPS built directly into their eyeballs. The fact that your brain defragments like a computer. While you sleep, your brain goes through a process called memory consolidation. Think of your brain like a messy desk at the end of the day. During sleep, your brain takes all the papers, memories, and things you learned and decides what to keep and what to throw away. It moves the important stuff into long-term storage, your hard drive, and clears out the junk. This is why you often understand a difficult homework problem better after a nap. Beavers are the world's best animal. Engineers, and they don't just use sticks. In very cold places, beavers will use wet mud as a glue for their dams. When the temperature drops, the mud freezes solid, turning the beaver's house into a concrete fortress that is as hard as a rock. This protects them from wolves and bears, who find it impossible to dig through the frozen walls to get to the beavers hiding inside. The hidden teeth on a snail's tongue. Snails look soft and harmless, but they are actually very toothy. A snail doesn't have a jaw like ours. Instead, it has a tongue-like organ called a radula. This organ is covered in rows of thousands of tiny, microscopic teeth made of chitin, the same stuff as bug shells. As the snail crawls over food, it uses its tongue like a chainsaw to rasp away tiny bits of leaves or fruit. Some snails can have over 20,000 teeth. The fact that pineapples eat you back. When you eat a fresh pineapple, your tongue might feel a bit tingly or sore. This is because pineapples contain a powerful enzyme, a chemical tool called bromelain. This enzyme's job is to break down proteins. Since your mouth is made of protein, the pineapple is actually trying to digest you while you are eating it. Don't worry, your stomach acid is much stronger and wins the fight once you swallow. The white hole mystery of space. We all know about black holes that suck everything in, but scientists have a theory about white holes. A white hole is the mathematical opposite. It is a region of space that nothing can enter, and things are constantly being spit out of it at incredible speeds. While no one has found a real one yet, some scientists think they might be the other side of a black hole, or even how our entire universe began. The safety feature of the crocodile's heart. Crocodiles have the most complex heart in the animal kingdom. They have a special valve, like a little door, called the foramen of Penisa. When a crocodile dives underwater to hunt, it can close this door to send used blood back to its stomach instead of its lungs. This used blood is full of carbon dioxide, which helps the stomach produce 10 times more acid than usual. This allows the crocodile to digest the bones, shells, and horns of the animals it eats. The fact that honey never goes bad. Archaeologists have found pots of honey in ancient Egyptian tombs that are 3,000 years old and still perfectly edible. Honey is a perfect food for storage because it has very little water and is very acidic. Bacteria and germs need water to grow, and they can't survive in the acid of the honey. As long as the lid stays on and no water gets in, a jar of honey could technically last for thousands of years. The exploding Lake of Cameroon. In 1986, a lake in Cameroon called Lake Nyos did something terrifying. It burped. Because the lake sits on a volcano, a huge amount of carbon dioxide gas had built up at the bottom. A small landslide caused the lake to flip, releasing a giant bubble of gas into the air. Because the gas was heavier than air, it flowed down the mountain like an invisible river, putting out fires and making it impossible for people to breathe. Today, scientists use giant pipes to vent the gas slowly so it never explodes again. The color-changing skill of the Arctic fox. The Arctic fox is a master of the seasons. In the winter, it has a thick, snow-white coat to hide in the ice. But when the snow melts in the summer, the fox doesn't stay white. It sheds its fur and grows a brown or gray coat to match the rocks and dirt of the tundra. It is one of the only animals that completely changes its outfit twice a year to stay invisible to its enemies. The fact that Saturn's rings are disappearing. Saturn is famous for its beautiful rings, but they won't be there forever. The rings are made of chunks of ice and rock. Because of gravity and the planet's magnetic field, the rings are being pulled down into the planet as dust rain. Saturn is losing enough ring material to fill an Olympic-sized swimming pool every half hour. In about 100 million years, the rings will be completely gone, and Saturn will look like a plain ball, the mountain made of sugar. In the country of Eritrea, there are giant mounds that look like small mountains, but they are actually termite mounds. These towers can be 30 feet tall. They are built with a mix of dirt, spit, and termite poop. Inside, the termites build a complicated air conditioning system that keeps the colony at exactly the right temperature. The structure is so strong and well-designed that architects study them to learn how to build green buildings for humans. The bird that can sleep while flying. The great frigate bird spends months flying over the ocean without ever landing on water. To survive, it has learned how to sleep while gliding. It can shut down half of its brain at a time, so it stays awake enough to steer, or it can even shut down both halves for a few seconds. This micronapping allows the bird to travel thousands of miles without ever stopping for a full night's rest. The immortal water bear. There is a microscopic creature called a tardigrade, or water bear, that can survive almost anything. If you boil it, freeze it, or take away all its water, it just dries up into a little ball and waits. Scientists have even sent them into the vacuum of space, and they survived. When you give them a drop of water years later, they simply wake up and walk away. The way a starfish regrows its body. If a starfish loses an arm, it doesn't just heal, it grows a brand new arm back. But even more amazing is that some types of starfish can grow a whole new body from just one single arm. As long as the arm has a tiny piece of a starfish's center attached, it can slowly grow all the other legs and its stomach back. The fact that you have no sense of smell when sleeping. Your brain actually turns off your sense of smell when you fall into a deep sleep. This is why smoke detectors are so important. They use a loud noise to wake you up. You could have a plate of fresh cookies or even something stinky right under your nose while you sleep, and your brain wouldn't notice it until you open your eyes. The world's smallest mammal. The bumblebee bat is the smallest mammal on Earth. It is so tiny that it weighs less than a penny. It lives in caves in Thailand and is about the size of a large bug. Even though it is tiny, it still has fur, gives birth to live babies, and feeds them milk just like a giant elephant or a human. The never-ending storm on Jupiter. Jupiter has a giant red spot that looks like an eye. This is actually a massive storm that has been spinning for at least 300 years. It is so big that 3 Earths could fit inside the storm. While storms on Earth usually last a few days, Jupiter's storm keeps going because the planet is made of gas and has no solid ground to slow the wind down. The invisible colors humans can't see. The world is full of colors we can't see. For example, flowers have beautiful patterns on them that only bees and butterflies can see because their eyes can catch ultraviolet light. To us, a flower might look like a plain yellow circle, but to a bee, it is glowing stripes that point exactly toward the nectar in the middle. The way your hair remembers what you ate. As your hair grows, it traps tiny chemicals from the food you eat and the water you drink. Scientists can take a single strand of hair and use it like a history book. By looking at the different parts of the hair, they can tell what you were eating months ago. It's a permanent record of your life stored in your hair. The way an ant counts its steps. Desert ants have to travel far to find food in a place with no trees or landmarks. To find their way back home, they actually count their steps. Scientists prove this by giving some ants tiny stilts to make their legs longer. Those ants walked past their home because they thought they hadn't walked far enough yet. They have a built-in computer that tracks every step they take. The reason why your eyes are different colors. Your eye color comes from a brown powder called melanin. If you have a lot of this powder, your eyes look brown. If you have only a little bit, the light bounces off the back of your eye and makes it look blue or green. It's like a blue lake. The water isn't actually blue. It just looks that way because of how the light hits it